in on our target. We knew we had to move fast.
Fortunately, we were already pre-approved for a no-money down loan with Navy Federal Credit Union, and were able to put an offer on this place immediately after it went on the market.
I see you, Dad.
How are my tomatoes doing, babe?
Pretty good.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
So it was last Sunday. I was watching the game, painting Gracie's nails, you know, team colors. And I was like, Gracie Jane, we need to turn this footballing up a skosh. And that is when that dish listening guy just popped in. Said he was listening to what I was saying. I loved it, right?
Red Zone.
He says, get Dish for extra action through NFL Red Zone. And I said, we like extra. We're all about extra. Right, Gracie Jane?
Get extra action with NFL Red Zone from NFL Network at no extra charge. Dish, tuned into you.
My name is J.D. Vance. I took a class from Judge Kavanaugh. He'd make a great Supreme Court justice because he hasn't just talked the talk. We've seen in his 12 years on the D.C. Circuit that he really walks the walk. He applies the law faithfully. He's fair to the clients and the litigants who come before him. Judge Kavanaugh bases his judgments on the law and the Constitution, not on who's well-connected. That, to me, is the hallmark of a judge who will be a Supreme Court justice for the entire country, not just for the connected few.
Welcome back. We are back now with Congressman Kevin McCarthy, the House Majority Leader. And Congressman, you've been tweeting and talking a lot recently about this potential bias, that this censoring of conservatives by social media. You confirmed the other day that Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, will testify in front of the Energy and Commerce Committee on September 5th.
Yes.
Tell me what you're expecting.
Well, first of all, you got to look at the problem. Social media has become the modern day town square. 67%, 2/3 of all adults get some of their news from the social media, and it only continues to climb. But look at the stories, what we've found. 2 weeks before the California Republican primary, if you Googled the California Republican Party, they said our ideology wasn't the party of Lincoln or Reagan, it was Nazism.
How does that happen? They said it was an algorithm. How does that happen?
Well, these algorithms. Then look just what's happened on Facebook and Twitter. Elizabeth Hang, who's running against Jim Costa in California, her parents escaped Cambodia. She has an amazing story to tell. They won't show the video for the same footage that would be on PBS. Or Prager University, it's a nonprofit that talks about conservative subjects. But they had Alan Dershowitz talking about Israel for 5 minutes. They had George Will talking about baseball. YouTube's rated them equal to in the same categories as pornography, so Facebook wouldn't show it.
That's incredible.
And then we found what Vice came forward with. The conservative voices were being shadowboxed or shadow banned on Twitter.
Right.
And we looked at all the progressive Democrats, none of them. And they say it was an algorithm. Now, I want to give Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, some credit, because I've been talking to him, and I requested him to come in. And we've had numerous conversations throughout this month. He's coming in. Now, we disagree philosophically. He will say he's a liberal. Right. I'm a conservative. But he does believe in the First Amendment. Now, the algorithm that he writes, I have real concerns about. Like the other day, just my setting has sensitive. Laura Ingraham put something out about the election in Sweden and the conservatives going to win because of immigration. That was marked as sensitive to not show to me.
Immigration is sensitive. Come on.
So that algorithm wrong. But
somebody sets up the algorithm, though.
Exactly. Who are those people? Remember what happened to President Trump's own Twitter account was taken down by a person in Europe.
You don't want to see more regulation. You just want them to clean up their act.
Transparency. Transparency, especially before the election. Well, Jack's coming in. He wants to be very open. The other social platforms should be open as well to what's going on. Because what happens here is, if there's a conservative being shut down, that voice is not being heard. And if this is where 2/3 of Americans are getting their news, it's not a fair process, and this country believes in fairness. The internet was created on fairness.
This is really important. We'll be watching that testimony. Thank you so much for coming in. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Stay with us. More on the life and legacy of John McCain.
That will never work.
Oh, no.
A bulb of light.
A flying machine? Impossible.
A personal computer.
Smart neighborhoods running on a microgrid.
A stadium powered with solar. A hospital that doesn't lose power.
It's amazing.
I like it.
Never gonna happen.
Impossible.
That will never work.
Never gonna happen.
My family and I did a fundraiser walk in honor of my dad who has Alzheimer's. I decided to make shirts for the walk with custom ink, and they just came out perfect.
Check out our huge selection of custom apparel for every occasion. You'll even get free shipping. Get started today at customink.com.
The first survivor of Alzheimer's disease is out there, and the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen. But we won't get there without you. Join the fight with the Alzheimer's Association.
You eat healthy, take statins, but still struggle to lower your LDL bad cholesterol. You also have heart disease and fear a heart attack or stroke could strike without warning, pulling you away from everything you love. Because with high LDL, your risk of a heart attack or stroke is real. Now you can reduce that risk with Repatha. Repatha plus a statin dramatically lowers your LDL bad cholesterol by 63% and is proven to significantly drop your risk of having a devastating heart attack or stroke.
Do not take Repatha if you're allergic to it. Repatha may cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include redness, severe rash or itching, swollen face, or trouble breathing. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
Don't let a heart attack or stroke come between you and everything you love. Tell your doctor you're ready to lower your LDL and reduce your risk for real with Repatha.
Pay no more than $5 per month with the Repatha copay card.
The DR Trimmer Mower is the original trimmer on wheels, and over 30 years later, it's still the easiest way to maintain your country property. Trim along fence lines against buildings and around gardens. Mow down thick grass and weeds and clean out overgrowth on the roughest terrain. Our quick lock trimmer head takes the hassle out of changing cord, making it the easiest to use trimmer ever. Plus, the DR doubles as a 3-inch thick brush cutter with our unique cutting attachment. You can own a DR for as little as $349.99 with free shipping. Hurry, this offer won't last.
Call 1-800-208-3893 for your free buyer's guide and DVD. Learn about the full line of DRs and how you can try one on your own property for 1 year. DR trimmers start at just $349.99 and free shipping is now in effect. Call today, 1-800-208-3893. Online at drtrimmer.com.
Welcome back. This morning, we are remembering the life of Arizona Senator John McCain, who lost his brave battle with brain cancer yesterday at the age of 81. Looking at the flag at the Capitol at half-staff this morning in honor of the senator, let's bring in California Congressman Darrell Issa. He's been on Capitol Hill roughly as long as Senator McCain was. And Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Well, my length of service pales in comparison to the late senator, but I did have the honor of serving with him. And everyone has a story. Half of my stories are sitting in the barber's chair with Mario as he got what little hair he had cut once a week, every week. But also being in Pakistan at the base that Gary Powers took off in that famous U-2 incident as we were looking at the Pakistan-Afghan border. And this man, 20 years my senior, looking less exhausted than I was because he was used to taking that kind of treatment that it takes to just keep going.
He was just an incredible man. He really was, and such principles. But what he did for our country in terms of serving in the military and the patriot that he always was, and his father was, and his grandfather was, really a long history of patriotism and love for our great country.
Well, you're exactly right. And you know, patriotism sometimes runs in a family and sometimes the second or third generation takes it for granted, but that certainly wasn't the case with John. And I think, you know, when he's remembered this coming week and the week after and the months after, it's going to be as a patriot. With all his strengths and weaknesses, all his accomplishments, it was really just the fact that America came first with him at all times.
Absolutely. Congressman, let me switch gears and move forward and ask you about this ongoing saga of Bruce and Nellie Ohr. And of course, Bruce Ohr was the #4 official at the Department of Justice. He will be in front of your committee in the next week, the Judiciary Committee, as he testifies. What are you looking to get from Bruce Ohr this upcoming week, sir?
Well, you know what the question always is, the infamous question, what did you know and when did you know it? It's clear that we know some things. He knew that Christopher Steele had been dismissed. He knew that the information in that fake dossier shouldn't go forward. He knew that, in fact, that he had it go forward. He, of course, also knew that his wife was actively involved in it. And as an attorney, there are things you disclose or recuse yourself. He didn't either. So the questions will be about the things he clearly knew and did wrong. Remember that this isn't, us saying there's a problem with Orr. He's been demoted from being the highest-ranking non-political appointee, highest-ranking non-political, if you will, there. He's been demoted twice, and he's been demoted for cause. And one of the causes is the clear distortion of the FISA warrant that led to this entire investigation that now turns out to be false in so many ways.
That's right. And, last week we had on your colleague, Congressman John Ratcliffe, who also sits on the House Judiciary Committee along with you, and he will lead the questioning of Bruce Orr this upcoming week. He said last week on this program he may actually, after this testimony, need to call back former DOJ officials to testify before Congress. Listen to what he told us last week, sir. I want to get your reaction.
I think that after we work through current Department of Justice employees like Bruce Orr, we'll get to those folks like Sally Yates and Jim Comey and Loretta Lynch that are no longer at the Department of Justice or the FBI, and we'll be requesting that they appear either voluntarily or involuntarily by subpoena, if necessary. Because there's been a lot of documents and testimony that has come out since the last time they testified under oath before Congress that calls into question some of that prior testimony.
So connect the dots for us, Congressman. Sally Yates was the person that Bruce Orr reported to. Why would you need Lynch and Comey to come back and Sally Yates to come testify as well?
Well, partly because of the inconsistencies. Peter Strzok told us a great deal about Bruce Orr's activities and what he did and how it was done. And obviously you also have McCabe, who was fired for cause. So as we get through these, if you will, statements that contradict each other, we have a reason to have people back to see if they want to correct the record. In other words, tell us the truth and the whole truth this time.
But where's the accountability for lying in the first place then? I mean, we keep seeing these issues where, people are getting immunity and then we know that they lied under oath. And now you've got to have this group back because the testimonies don't add up. Are the American people going to see accountability here and justice?
Maria, that's one of the biggest challenges. The Constitution only gives one entity the ability to hold people accountable legally, and it happens to be the entity in which all this wrongdoing was going on. When you have the fourth highest person, the third highest person, and even Loretta Lynch, the highest person, all doing things that are just wrong, and they are the only entity that, in fact, can hold people accountable legally under our Constitution. So it begs the question of when will the Attorney General engage in an area in which he is not recused, order these documents to be delivered in a timely fashion, and begin ordering real investigations leading to criminal prosecutions for false statements and wrongdoing. This is one of the areas in which my former colleague, Senator Jeff Sessions, needs to step up to the plate and engage because it's his responsibility. And quite frankly, he's the only one that can do it. His number two clearly won't.
But Congressman, his number two is also a witness. Rod Rosenstein signed off on the FISA warrant for the last FISA warrant. I want to ask you about that, and I also want to ask you about the president potentially declassifying all of those documents so that the American people can actually see a transparent situation, what took place in 2016. Let's slip in a quick break, Congressman. A lot of questions for you on the other side of this break. And of course, will President Trump declassify those FISA documents as we look ahead on Sunday Morning Futures? Stay with us. More with Darrell Issa on the other side.
You shouldn't be rushed into booking a hotel. With Expedia's add-on advantage, booking a flight unlocks discounts on select hotels until the day you leave for your trip. Add-on advantage, only when you book with Expedia.
Attention men with frequent urges to urinate. Super Beta Prostate has ingredients clinically tested to help reduce urges to urinate and waking at night to urinate. That's why it's the #1 best-selling prostate supplement in America. Don't wait. Try non-prescription Super Beta Prostate.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned.
Call or go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code and save over 50% with Mike's 4-pack. You'll get 2 MyPillow Premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. It's one of his best offers ever. Order now.
With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Home restoration takes time and money, so don't renovate, rejuvenate. Rejuvenate is the #1 selling floor care product at the Home Depot. Rejuvenate's super concentrated formula is the only floor finish that renews your floors in only one easy mop-on application. It fills and scratches, restores shine, and protects hardwood, laminate, linoleum, vinyl, and ceramic tile. Revitalize your hardwood floors with Rejuvenate's professional wood floor restorers. This polyurethane finish renews the shine and creates a durable, long-lasting barrier to keep your hardwood floors looking brand new for years. Easily remove dirt and grime from your floors with Rejuvenate's No Bucket Floor Cleaner. This pH balanced cleaner is safe for all flooring surfaces, it's easy to use, and leaves behind a beautiful streak-free shine. And now a new Click and Clean spray mop conveniently uses our top-rated floor cleaners as Click and cartridges. With just a Click and Clean, you easily get professional deep clean results every time. So don't renovate, rejuvenate. Get Rejuvenate at these fine retailers and RejuvenateProducts.com.
Hi, I'm Casper. And I'm David. And we both had a really embarrassing problem, sweaty hands and feet.
And we learned that it's actually a medical condition called hyperhidrosis, or excessive sweating, and that millions of Americans have it.
So we decided to make something that would help.
Carpe Antiperspirant Lotion.
It's really simple to use. Just rub in a dab and say goodbye to the sweat. So if you, like us, have suffered from sweaty hands and feet, you're the reason we made Carpe.
Try it out at carpelotion.com.
Introducing the latest advancements in copper compression garments. CopperFit Pro, now with targeted kinesiology compression bands designed to pinpoint and relieve muscle and joint soreness. Kinesiology compression bands are strategically patterned in the garment to target known pain center pressure points and aid in recovery and performance. Purchase your CopperFit Pro series at Dick's Sporting Goods.
And we are back with Congressman Darrell Issa, Republican of California. And Congressman, we were just talking about Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, a moment ago, and you said Jeff Sessions is the only one who can do this to right this wrong ship, but he's not doing it. Should the president fire Jeff Sessions, Congressman?
Well, I think that the president has an obligation to make it clear, and I think he's done that Jeff Sessions has to step up to the plate and do his job. He's ordered open and transparent communication. In other words, give Congress the documents they're asking for in the most unredacted way possible. And what he's done is allowed the bureaucrats to slow walk us and give us documents that look like a black cow eating a licorice at midnight. They're just all black.
That's right.
And that's unacceptable. And so when the president, rightfully so, says that if Jeff Sessions won't do it, then the president will in fact use his authority to clear the classified request and the attorney-client privilege and the presidential prerogatives out of the way and make it available. And this is something that needs to be done. Of course, you need to make sure that if somebody life is at risk, that you protect them. But after that, the rest of it really is the president saying he wants to be open and transparent, and every one of his cabinet officers needs to heed that and provide that kind of information quickly.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't he declassify these documents, Congressman? I mean, you know, when I asked him that, when I interviewed the president in July of this year, he said, well, some people are saying don't do it. You know, they don't want me to get involved. And then, of course, we know that the special counsel is trying to look for any obstruction. But why would that be obstruction? Wouldn't that just be shining a light on things, making it more transparent? What's the downside risk?
Well, one of the interesting things is, of course, the special prosecutor gets everything completely unredacted. We're only asking to quite frankly, look over his shoulder and look over the shoulder of other investigations that should occur. Understand, the president inherited a system that likes to give no one anything. I often say that the most highly classified thing there is anywhere in Washington is embarrassment. And so often it's what they don't want you to know because they don't want to be embarrassed. It's not real classification. Right. The president is doing the right thing, exactly the opposite of President Obama. He's saying make it open and transparent. When Jeff Sessions was a senator, he certainly would have said, I want the information. He, in fact, maybe not as quickly as John McCain, made the moral argument that we needed to know about Benghazi and prevent that from happening again. Right. And he demanded documents. Now he needs to be on the other side saying Congress has an absolute right, the American people have a right, and he needs to lead that or get out of the way. When I say get out of the way, somebody has to replace him that will do it if he won't.
Well, you said that the special counsel gets to see everything unredacted. You know, a lot of people have been making the point recently, me included, that the special counsel's investigation will not have credibility unless he looks at everything, both sides. I mean, we know that Hillary Clinton and the DNC paid upwards of $1 million for that dossier. They spent the money on the dossier, then they used the dossier to get a warrant to wiretap. They did not tell the FISA court that the DNC and Hillary Clinton paid that $1 million for it. And yet, you know, we haven't heard a word about this from the special counsel. Can Robert Mueller continue this investigation without looking at the FISA process and what took place in 2016?
Well, I think a way to put it, and I agree with you, is Rod Rosenstein needs to give specific instructions that says you can and should do that. And if he isn't willing to do it, we have to look to his own culpability in that false FISA warrant that he had a part in.
Right, he's a witness. Let me switch gears real quick, Congressman, and ask you about China and trade, because really stunning developments on Friday when the president decided to stop Mike Pompeo from going to North Korea for this planned trip, and then talked about how China is not where he thought they should be in terms of trade. Where are we in this battle with China right now?
Well, you know, the way you get a deal, whether it's a national security deal with North Korea and their nuclear weapons, or a trade deal that begins to give some level of fairness from China, is you've got to be willing to walk away from it. The president is the master of the art of the deal. He wants to be there. He clearly will turn Mike Pompeo around, the secretary, in hours if there's an opportunity, but he's not going to send them there just to have a pretty portrait of people shaking hands. And I think that's the difference in this negotiator is the deal's off if you're not making progress. The deal's back on quickly if you are. He's done it before. He can do it again. But Maria, the thing that I think the American people have to understand is although trade is a national security issue, you cannot continue to give away hundreds of billions of dollars of the American people's hard-earned money to China just because China has a bad actor that periodically will misbehave and they use it as leverage. And that's exactly what China continues to do.
It's true. And they won't even admit that they're taking the IP and that they're stealing so much technology from the U.S. and forcing the transfer of tech. So we'll see if this strategy works in terms of changing China's behavior. We love having you on, sir. Please come back soon. Great to see you, Congressman.
Thanks, Maria.
Congressman Darrell Issa there, remembering a senator, war hero, and former Republican presidential nominee, John McCain. Our panel is here with that and other big stories of the week. A panel up next. Stay with us as we look ahead on Sunday Morning Futures.
Fries for 316, please. Thank you.
David, what's going on?
Oh, hey.
That's it?
Yeah.
Everybody, 2 seconds.
Dear Sebastian, after careful consideration of your application, it is with great pleasure that we offer our congratulations on your acceptance.
Through the Tuition Assistance Program, every day, McDonald's helps more people go to college. It's part of our commitment to being America's best first job.
This is Fracture. Just upload an image, place your order, and it'll show up at your door, beautifully printed directly on glass. And this isn't just another frame, just another canvas. This is new. This is a Fracture. Visit FractureMe.com and print one today.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year on the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to keep you both comfortable. And now all beds are on sale. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed. Only for a limited time.
Guys, is this you? Busting out of your pants? Out of shape? No energy or drive? Then you need Nutrisystem for men.
I'm Chris, and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Essex, and I lost 43 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall in your first month. Money back guarantee. Real guys, real results. Put down the wings, pick up the phone, and get with the program today. Order your 28-day plan now and save 40% off every program. That's 40% off breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks. For a limited time, save 40%. Plus, get 1 week of all new NutriPro shakes, packed with 20 grams of protein to help shrink your gut, free.
The food was delicious. I love the food. Pasta, pizza, so good.
Plus, we'll throw in FedEx shipping free.
It was perfect for guys like me who don't like to cook.
Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall in your first month.
It's simple. You eat the food, you lose the weight.
Go online or call 877-372-THIN and get free shakes plus 40% off every program.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need or can't afford? Now you can sell your policy for an immediate payment.
We bought life insurance when our kids were young to protect their future.
Our youngest just turned 40, and we no longer needed the coverage.
That got us to thinking about letting our policy go. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. I learned that you could sell all or part of a life insurance policy, even a term life policy. Turns out, people have been selling policies like ours for the past 15 years. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we have money to help with the medical bills.
And to add to our retirement.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be a candidate to sell your policy. Call 1-800-471-6800 or visit CoventryDirect.com for a free information packet. 1-800-471-6800. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
We are remembering the life and legacy of John McCain this morning, a war hero, senator, and presidential nominee, after he lost his brave battle with brain cancer yesterday at the age of 81. Our panel joins us right now to talk more about that. Ed Rollins is former White House advisor to President Reagan. He's a Fox News contributor. Mary Kissel is back, editorial board member for the Wall Street Journal and also a Fox News contributor. And Greg Jarrett joins us this morning, Fox News legal analyst and author of the top-selling book, The Russia Hoax, the illicit scheme to clear Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump. Greg, good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great to see everybody.
Thank you.
And Ed, you go back with Senator John McCain,
I first met John McCain when he came back from Vietnam, from prison in 1973. He handled the Senate congressional relations for a while. I was doing congressional relations. I was the Assistant Secretary for Transportation. So we hung out together. We all were involved in the Watergate and what have you. He was always a man of great fun, great integrity, great intellect. He wasn't always a happy warrior. Sometimes he was a grumpy warrior, but he was always a warrior. And I think the only battle he ever lost was this one, and he lost it with great class and great. There will never be another one like him, and I say that in a very positive way. And I've fought with him on many occasions. I loved him on many occasions. But he was an extraordinary human being, and the Congress was very lucky to have him. The country is very lucky to have him.
He was a maverick, and you know when he named Sarah Palin as his running mate, initially I thought it was brilliant.
Right. Well, in a way, it was brilliant. For about 3 weeks, she drove the agenda. And again, you know, he was the most beloved candidate ever to run for president by the media. Unfortunately, not so much by the conservatives. But at the end of the day, the country was well served by him, and the veterans of this country owe him an undying debt for all the things.
And the world as well.
Absolutely.
Today we're talking about world issues, Mary Kissel. I want to get your take on the president's decision on Friday to stop Mike Pompeo from going to North Korea because of the challenges that the U.S. is having with China largely, and I guess North Korea as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a very encouraging sign, Maria, because let's be honest, there hasn't been a lot of progress since President Trump met Kim Jong-un in Singapore in June. afternoon. And I think it was right for the president to acknowledge that and not to reward the North Koreans with another meeting with a cabinet-level official. Now, President Trump, remember, called off the Singapore summit before he called it back on again.
That's true. Good
so
point.
I hope that he sticks with this decision, but it's a step in the right direction.
What do you want to see happen in terms of the U.S. and North Korea? Just complete denuclearization? I mean, what would be victory?
Well, victory, according to the White House, and we agree with this on the editorial page, is complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization. And the Trump administration has acknowledged that dragging out talks in the past has not worked, that bribing North Korea doesn't work. But they have a big problem in the South Korean administration, Maria, because you have a government there in Seoul that is very far to the left and that wants rapprochement with the North at any cost.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem here, it's not just China that we have a problem with, it's our ally and friend in Seoul.
So many incredible issues going into the midterm elections, not to mention the issues around the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the president now attacking Jeff Sessions in a louder voice. Greg Jarrett, you wrote the book, The Russia Hoax. Your thoughts on the president's tweets this week, basically pointing out that Jeff Sessions, according to the president, is not doing his job.
Well, the president's absolutely correct. First, at the outset, Jeff Sessions betrayed the president. Sessions told the Senate Intelligence Committee he began his recusal his first day in office. He concealed his intentions from the president, so the president was betrayed from the outset. And then Jeff Sessions has taken very little action to go after, as I name them in the book, the law enforcers who became the lawbreakers. He should have renewed and reopened the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, gone after her for the destruction of evidence under a lawful subpoena. And why hasn't he investigated Hillary Clinton and her campaign paying a foreigner, a British spy, for information from Russians, which was then used as the basis for the Trump-Russia investigation and wiretap warrants?
Right.
All of that should have been done.
And next week, Bruce Orr, the #4 guy at the Justice Department, will testify and answer questions behind closed doors. What are you expecting from the Bruce Orr testimony, Greg?
Well, I have 63 pages of Orr's notes, emails, and text messages between himself and Christopher Steele. There are going to be a lot of questions about the nefarious activities between those two men in pushing the Trump-Russia collusion hoax.
Well, you know, this is probably the most consequential midterm elections that we've seen in a long time, Ed Rollins. Do these issues come up? Do these issues drive voters, or is it largely economic or something else in November?
Well, every race will be different. The interesting thing in this race is there's 66 races in the House that are listed as toss-ups or lean one way or the other. Only 4 of those are Democrats. Most of them are ours. We have 39 Republicans either retiring or running for other office, biggest vacancy since 1930. So my sense is you got to go out and you got to take these new candidates, the Democrats, apart. You got to, and so the issues that we want to run on, the economic issues, what have you, are a little tougher. And there's 10 weeks left to go. A ton of money out there. Bloomberg, the former mayor here, has put $80 million into Democratic races.
Yeah.
Clearly has defined himself. We have raised tremendous amount of money on our side. So every race will be well funded, but it's just a question of time. What can you do?
The outcomes have been positive, whether it's economic outcome or foreign policy outcome. I want to get your take on the outcomes when we come right back, Mary Kissel. Let's take a short break. The panel stays right here. More in a moment when we come back.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard, with feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
What does help for heart failure look like? It looks like this. Entresto is a heart failure pill that helped keep people alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
The beat goes on.
Yeah.
While using smartphones and tablets is second nature to us, the same may not be true for your mom or dad, which means they can find themselves isolated from you and the family.
Here you go, ma'am.
GrandPad, powered by Consumer Cellular, gives you the opportunity to change that.
Hi, Mom. You got it.
Once you've introduced your mom or dad to GrandPad, they'll be able to stay in touch just like you do, sharing photos, emails, and making video calls. They can check the weather, read the news, stream music, play games, and more. With GrandPad, it's easy, even if they've had no experience with new technologies. GrandPad arrives already set up and ready to go, and it's incredibly simple to operate and charge. As soon as GrandPad is turned on, the whole family will be able to connect via the website or downloadable smartphone app. At the touch of a button,
Hi, Mary. How can I help?
GrandPad comes with award-winning customer support from Consumer Cellular, who has been an approved AARP provider for over 10 years, so members get exclusive discounts. GrandPad is safe and secure, connecting the family on a closed private network so you don't have to worry about scams or data breaches. GrandPad comes with all these accessories, and the set monthly fee provides unlimited service, so your mom or dad can use the GrandPad as much as they like. Call or go online to order today and get our 30-day risk-free guarantee. If they're not completely happy, simply return it and pay nothing. They'll be delighted with all the ways GrandPad keeps them entertained and included. You'll rest easy, knowing your mom or dad is finally connected to the comforts of family and friends.
So, Mom, we have some big news. You're going to be a great grandma!
Introduce them to GrandPad, a gift to keep them connected. Order for your mom or dad today, and for a limited time, get the first month of service free. Call 1-800-799-1342 or go online to getgrandpad.com.
We're back with our panel, Greg Jarrett, Mary Kissel, and Ed Rollins. And before we went to the break, we were talking about the midterms and the outcomes, Mary. The Federal Reserve of Atlanta just raised its expectation for economic growth for the third quarter to 4.6%. Yeah. You've got good outcomes, and yet the midterms seem tight as ever.
Yeah, that's true, Maria. The president has a great story to tell if he talks about the economy, if he talks about regulatory reform, if he talks about energy market liberalization. But I think the danger here is that the president may try to nationalize this election in the same way that he ran for president, as if he were running against Hillary Clinton, talking about the wall, talking about trade, talking about China, instead of really promoting all of the achievements of his administration. And, let's be honest here. You cannot underestimate the political peril that this president is in if the Democrats retake the House. Say goodbye to this stock market. Say goodbye to reg reform, any chance of welfare, health care reform in the future, or a second go at tax reform. We're never going to know what happened with the DOJ and the FBI if the Democrats take the House, because their only goal is to impeach him.
Well, that's absolutely right. And Greg Jarrett, it almost feels like they are, in fact, waiting for the clock to run out. They're sitting on documents at the DOJ. They're not giving the documents that certainly Devin Nunes and others are asking for. And if they were to run the clock out and not get this, you're not, and the House flips, you're not going to hear another word about this FBI DOJ investigation. You know that.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It'll be covered up. But of course, the Department of Justice, as you pointed out in your interview with Darrell Issa, has been obstructing Congress and thus obstructing justice now for the better part of a year. These are lawful subpoenas. Congress has a right to these documents. I think the president needs to step in and declassify and authorize the release of 3 sets of documents, which the House Intelligence Committee wants and is entitled to see.
Yeah, and the editorial board has asked him to declassify.
Multiple times.
I've said it a number of times. I don't know what the downside risk of the president declassifying these documents are, Ed.
There is no risk. You're fighting the intelligence community, and people will always argue there's something there that gives away secrets. The bottom line is we need to give away secrets. We need to know what's going on in the Justice Department. The critical thing, going back to your point, the president can't turn the House around. Each House member has to go win his own fight, and he can talk about the good economic stuff. But we have a great shot at the Senate. We could pick up 3 or 4 Senate seats here. We should have picked up 10 because there are 10 seats that were in jeopardy, but they're no longer in jeopardy. But if we can add 3 or 4 seats to the Senate, there's only 3 of ours that are somewhat in jeopardy, the 2 open seats, Arizona and Tennessee, and I think we can win those. And then Heller and Nevada's in a real race. But they've got 5 or 6 that are really vulnerable, starting with Florida, where we've got a real chance of winning Florida Florida, which we haven't in a long time. So if he goes out and campaigns hard for those candidates, that will make a difference. If he tries to do every House race that's in jeopardy, then you are going to basically create some chaos.
It feels like every time you have positive news on the GOP side, the detractors come out with some other big story to sort of, oh, nothing going on here. Let's look over here, Mary.
Yeah, and there's some funny business going on, too. Look at the indictments. You had a representative in New York, Collins, and Duncan Hunter in California, who were indicted less than 3 months before the election, which is completely inappropriate. Very hard for Republicans now to put another name on the ballot in both of those areas. So it can be a dirty business, Maria, unfortunately, but an awful lot at stake in this election.
There really is. Great to see everybody. Thank you so much. Ed Rollins, Mary Kissel, Greg Jarrett, great to have you. That'll do it for us this morning on Sunday Morning Futures. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maria Bartiromo. I'll see you on Mornings with Maria from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern on the Fox Business Network weekdays. Join us. Media Buzz with Howie Kurtz is up next after a short break. And we continue on Fox News looking at the life and legacy of Senator John McCain.
Today, 97% of employers agree that skills like teamwork, attention to detail, and customer service are critical to business success, like the ones we teach here every day.
Booking a flight at the last minute doesn't have to be expensive. Just go to Priceline. It's the best place to book a flight a few days before my trip and still save up to 40%. Just tap and go. For the best savings on flights, go to Priceline.
Hi, I'm Annette and I'm an actress. Under eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. I came across Plexiderm and I was so excited. We have a model, his name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful, that's all it takes. It literally creates an invisible layer that tightens the skin and smooths it out. All you do is gently rub it underneath your eyes, on your fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly disappears in as little as 10 minutes.
This is the only product I have ever used that actually really works. I look a good 20 years younger. I don't think I looked this young when I was 40.
Holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Looks even better.
You have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself, the videos that